The Indiana Fever are taking on the Chicago Sky today. And it looks like the Indiana Fever are set to send out a message to Caitlin Clark, to Sophie Cunningham, and to Lexi Hall. Now, we saw Lexi Hall's minutes have already kind of been getting cut. I think she only played like 6 minutes in the first half of last game or something ridiculous. Okay, and we've seen it with our own two eyes. Lexi Hall continued to be thrown to the back burner by Stephanie White since day one before she even got.
Something seems different, and that's the sentiment spreading across Fever social media right now. Not because of a defeat, not because of a poor performance. Instead, fans are beginning to ask questions they weren't asking just a few weeks ago. Questions about leadership, questions about team chemistry, questions about what may truly be happening behind the scenes, and somehow every discussion keeps circling back to the same names: Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hall, and Stephanie White. The interesting part is that no one can identify a single defining moment. There wasn't a dramatic confrontation. There wasn't a shocking announcement. Rather, everything developed gradually. A comment here, a reaction there, a post-game interview, a clip, a replay, then another replay, and another. Before long, Fever fans found themselves discussing something that felt much bigger than basketball. That's when the theories began to emerge. Some supporters believe the pressure surrounding the team has reached an entirely new level. Others think fans are reading far too much into ordinary situations. But there is one thing nobody can deny: the conversation is becoming louder, much louder. Then Sophie Cunningham entered the spotlight, and once again, Fever fans paid close attention. Because whenever Sophie speaks, people listen. Not because she seeks controversy, but because supporters believe she says exactly what she's thinking. That's why every comment becomes a headline. Every quote sparks discussion. Every reaction becomes evidence for someone's theory. Then came another development. Lexi Hall's name entered the conversation, and suddenly fans began talking about a trio. Not an official trio. Not something announced by the organization. A trio created entirely by supporters: Caitlin, Sophie, Lexi. 3 players whom fans constantly connect together. 3 players who seem to appear in nearly every Fever discussion. 3 players sitting at the center of countless debates, and that's when the conversation truly exploded.
For in today's game as well. Now, for the Indiana Fever to win this game, Caitlin Clark needs to be dominant, and that requires Stephanie White getting the hell out of her way. But Caitlin Clark is the most important piece in this game. We need Caitlin Clark to be aggressive. I'm looking for an absolute Clark show, baby. I'm looking for a Clark show today. I think this is a team she can definitely get off on. Yes, JC Shell's going to play some hard defense, but I don't think the Sky have enough to even do anything with Caitlin Clark as long as that basketball is in her hands. When that ball is in her hands, this girl makes magic. This girl literally makes magic with that basketball in her hands, and I think it is an absolute travesty that the Indiana Fever keep trying to take the ball out of her hands and put it in Kelsey Mitchell's hands, and then claim they're running stuff off ball for Caitlin Clark when you're not running anything off ball for her, and you got the ball in somebody's hands and Kelsey Mitchell, who ain't gonna pass the damn ball anyway. So I think it's ridiculous, man. In order for the Indiana Fever to handle this game, Caitlin Clark needs to have the ball in her hands, and she needs to put on a Clark show and be absolutely dominant, which I think she will do. The second thing is the Indiana Fever, Aaliyah Boston, Maisha Hines-Allen, Monique Billings. We need real screen set. Maisha Hines-Allen actually sets real picks, in my opinion. But we need real screen set, man. Aaliyah Boston is really, really, really bad at setting screens. She's really bad at setting screens. Half the time, she don't even touch nobody. Aaliyah Boston, to be getting $6 million and you can't even set a proper damn pick, I think is ridiculous. You got to get this thing figured out. I don't understand how you don't know how to set a pick and you've been in the league this long. It makes absolutely no sense to me. I'm tired of seeing this girl not be able to set a real screen. It's ridiculous at this point. It's absolutely ridiculous at this point. I'm sick and tired of seeing it. So we need real screen set for our guards, Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. We need real screen set. The third thing is Kelsey Mitchell, you got to pass the damn ball. Okay, you tried to pass a little bit more last game. Cool. Let's keep it up. Let's keep the uptick in Kelsey Mitchell passing the ball. Now, you didn't score 20 last game. I know you're going to be on a rampage to get your 20 points today by any means necessary. We might watch Kelsey Mitchell put up 23, 24 shots out there tonight. But we need Kelsey Mitchell to be...
Once social media latched onto the story, there was no slowing it down. Videos began surfacing everywhere. Posts flooded timelines. Fans started dissecting every interaction, every reaction, and every single moment. Before long, Stephanie White once again found herself at the center of the conversation. Some supporters rushed to defend her. Others were quick to criticize. And many simply wanted answers. But no matter which side people supported, one thing was clear. Everyone was talking. Then something even more unexpected occurred. The discussion expanded far beyond Indiana. Suddenly, people outside the Fever fan base were paying attention. Basketball pages were covering it. Podcasters were discussing it. National media outlets were weighing in. It seemed as though everyone had become interested, not because anyone possessed all the answers, because nobody did, and mystery attracts attention right now. There may be no bigger mystery in the WNBA than whatever is unfolding around the Indiana Fever. That's exactly why the story continues to gain momentum. Every day brings a new theory. Every game sparks a new debate. Every comment fuels another discussion. And with each passing week, the conversation only grows larger.
Stephanie White, her entire face changes. And then it changes back. Once she gets past Stephanie White.
Clark, you can see she celebrates with Sophie Cunningham, smiles at Sophie Cunningham, and then immediately when she looks at Raven Johnson and Stephanie White, the smile immediately goes away. Look at her, smiling, sees the bench. Boom. Oh my gosh. My replacement is here to replace me. Yep.
You hear what Venom said? By the way, Venom Reacts. Go subscribe. Shout out Venom. Did you hear what he said? My replacement's here to replace. I still believe they drafted her to replace her. Because I think Stephanie White believes that she better fits her team. Again, why in the world would you ever draft a point guard in the first round when you just took one 2 years earlier? Now look at this. Look at her face. Look at Caitlin Clark's face right here.
I couldn't even enjoy my moment without my coach subbing me out because it makes me look bad on national television that I can't close out defensive possessions with my team. Christy Size tried that in 2024. One of my first games watching the WNBA, which made me think as a casual fan of the WNBA that, hey, Caitlin Clark can't play defense, which I had to learn. Like, wait, she's not actually the worst defender on the team. So as you can see, the smile went away, gave Raven a whatever 5. Gave Stephanie White, couldn't even make eye contact with White. Couldn't even make eye contact with your coach. I mean, this is the same coach that hugged you when you made an assist to Kelsey Mitchell during a momentum run, but now she can't even make eye contact with you, nor you can't make eye contact with her as well. Just pure disgust. But now...
Look how her face changes back. This is very interesting.
Every interview seems to spark a new debate. And somehow, every debate leads back to the same question. What exactly is going on? That's the question fans continue to ask. And so far, no one appears to have a definitive answer. What people do have, however, is speculation, a lot of speculation. Enough to keep the conversation alive for weeks and continue fueling discussions across social media. That's why this story isn't fading away. If anything, it's growing larger with each passing day. Because whenever Caitlin Clark is involved, attention naturally follows. Whenever Sophie Cunningham is involved, strong opinions quickly emerge. Whenever Lexi Hull is mentioned, supporters rally behind her. And whenever Stephanie White enters the conversation, debate is never far behind. Put all of those elements together, and you get exactly what the Fever are experiencing right now: a team winning games, a fan base searching for answers, and a storyline that simply refuses to disappear. The most intriguing part, this could be only the beginning, because if the pressure continues to build and the spotlight becomes even brighter, the next chapter may end up being bigger than anything we've seen so far. And judging by the reaction from Fever fans, one thing is obvious. Everyone is already waiting to see what happens next.